Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the December Collective Energy Balance. Today, I want to talk about alignment. And what is alignment? Are you living a life of alignment? What does that even look like? So we're going to explore some of those concepts and give you some tools, some tips, some ways to help balance that in yourself and in the collective so that you can step into, oh my goodness, a whole new year with that conscious connection to alignment. So thanks for joining me. Look, I guess the big thing astrologically, I do bring these on the full moon. The big thing astrologically that we've encountered since the last full moon is Pluto going into Aquarius. And, I'm sure throughout this year you've had experiences of, well, certainly over the last few years as well, it's not like it's just suddenly there's a date that it shifts and the energy shifts. We've kind of been building up to that. Some of you may experience a shift in the energy during that week, but we have been working with themes of Pluto in Capricorn for the last 16 years, I think it is. And it's like, this was really about power dynamics. It was about where are we giving away our power externally? And I guess this is where I feel to really talk about alignment, because this is as we step into this whole energy, this energy shift, the next 22 years, I believe, with Pluto in Aquarius, we are being asked to really create a new relationship with power. So rather than externalizing our power, to actually, take back our power, reclaim our power, and making sure that we know that we have a choice in that, and so really, this is where that theme of alignment comes in. And I guess when we're talking about alignment, it's a very broad term, but if we really break it down to a couple of key things, ultimately, first and foremost, I feel it does take a degree of self-awareness. You need to really be aware of yourself, of your beliefs, of your behaviors, and not just your conscious ones. I work with kinesiology. I've done it for 17 years now, and it's what's kept me employed. Working with our subconscious beliefs, our subconscious behaviors, those things that we have created when we were younger. They served us as a way of helping us feel safe, and our fears of abandonment, or trying to keep the peace and not create conflict, trying to gain love, trying to gain, recognition or approval from outside of ourselves. And it's like this created a whole bunch of subconscious beliefs, that ultimately took us away from our true self. It was conditioning, expectations, perceptions, and that from our parents, from the outside world, really led to our conditioning and for us moving out of alignment from our true selves. And so really, as I say, this self-awareness is first and foremost. And if you're listening to this, you're obviously willing to take on some level of self-awareness, so that's a great start. But alignment also comes back to our authenticity. Is being really true to ourselves and expressing that truth to others out there in the world. So not wearing a mask, not doing the people pleasing, not making a choice because you want to, as I say, avoid pain or conflict, or you're trying to gain love because your sense of self-love is actually, non-existent, and you're trying to gain that externally. It's a form of deception and manipulation, not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. So, to truly live in alignment, you need to be authentic first and foremost, beyond the self-awareness thing, but as a practice to be authentic. Because if you're not living your truth, how can you be in alignment? And it's like, if we reflect over the last few years, and especially this year, let's just go with this year to begin with. We're at the end of a year. We're about to embark on a new year, and let's just say this year was extremely transformational. I know I'm not alone in saying that. I've seen it play out in front of me with so many people. Being really big transformations and upheaval, and a lot of it is getting down to the root of where we haven't been living in alignment. Or where we've been allowing that authority outside of ourselves, externally. So as I say, this is coming back to seeing this year where we have noticed that we have been living out of alignment. So a lot of people have had this come to the forefront this year. And we're basically getting to the point where our frequency is shifting. We've got some really big shifts coming up in 2027 with human design. We're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And I mean, that's a whole other video. But basically, there's some big shifts. And ultimately, if I break it down to a couple of things, we are raising our frequency. We're remembering our true and divine nature as a connection to source and to the whole. This is why all these things about manifestation, this is possibly why, people are interested in things like this, of raising their vibration, of what can we do to actually become more balanced, as a frequency. So it's like we are raising our frequency. And in order to do that, we've got to let go of the baggage, that stuff that's holding us back or holding us down in the heavier sort of human-y realms. So this thing, as I say, this year, that these things that you might have witnessed, and just take a moment to feel into in relationship to alignment, what has come up for you this year that you have noticed ways in which you have not been living in alignment with your true self, with your authentic self, with your soul, if you like, that you've been playing out other ego dynamics in order to, as I say, gain love or avoid pain, So really noticing where this year you have started to really witness what you need to shift in yourself, in your frequency, to come into greater alignment. And you may have had external experiences that highlight that for you, but remember, we're coming back to not allowing that external power to influence you and take you out of your own power. So if you really be truly honest with yourself and look at those experiences that you had and ask, well, how are you out of alignment? And how did those coming up actually bring this to your awareness? And so, this is where also the other thing with regards to alignment is we need to come back to a level of intentionality. So you could continue to play out, these past behaviors that you might have created when you were 4 or 5, 6 or 7, 10, 12 years old, whatever, but chances are, if you're watching this now, you are an adult, you're a grown being, and maybe it's time to grow up. Maybe it's time to recognize that you don't have to play out those stories. You don't have to play out those experiences anymore, This is a chance for you to stop over-identifying, to recognize that you are more than just your appearance, than your work, than your relationships, than your job, than your beliefs, than your thoughts. You are more than this. So stop over-identifying with these things. Remember that you are a divine being. You are a soul having a human experience. So you are spirit having a human experience. So it's time to remember and use that intentionality, use that coming back to your authentic self, and use this level of self-awareness from that place of your higher self, of your soul, of your divine self, to actually start making choices that are in alignment. And another aspect, one more aspect that comes into this alignment theme is around your values. And it's like really by working with that self-awareness, by recognizing, if you really tap into your values from that higher perspective of your divine self, and really, what are your true values? Like, is that honesty, integrity? Is that, trust? Is that authenticity? Is that connection? What are your true values? And when you really make that authentic choice of recognizing your true values, then you have a guiding force that allows you to live in alignment, to always choose alignment. Because ultimately, if you're choosing from that higher place, then you're going to choose what brings you joy and what brings you love and connection, all these higher frequency emotions and feelings. But if you're choosing from this place of external validation, avoiding pain, avoiding whatever, conflict, or just trying to gain love, then you're going to come up with a lot of resistance with not just the people that you're trying to manipulate, but also the flow in your life. So when we're in alignment, we're choosing from this value system, the universe wants to support that. And it basically makes you magnetic because you are connected to that frequency of source. Your soul is remembering and connecting to the big web, the big collective etheric web, which is what we're working with this collective balance, remember? So you actually tap into that higher frequency and get to live that higher frequency, vibrate it out to the world, and magnetize the people that align with those values. The people that are going to support you to live out that truth. If you are seeking love, seeking validation, sure, you might get an aspect of that. But as I say, because it's coming from a lower frequency, ultimately fear that you are not enough, fear of not being lovable. So you're seeking it, you're forcing it, you're striving for it, you're longing for it. These actions have very different frequency to just simply tapping in and choosing joy, choosing love in every single step that you take. And the important thing to remember is that we do naturally have ups and downs, and we do have moments where we fall out of that state. And just remember, I might have mentioned this before, but it's a natural part of the cycle. It's a natural part to actually dip back into perhaps what you don't want anymore so that you do know what you do want. And it's like the cycle of the seasons or night and day, is you can't stop the night, but it's because of the night that we have the day. It's because of summer that we have winter and vice versa, So it's like we need those cycles to actually allow Mother Earth, allow all of us on Mother Earth who are sustained, fed, nourished by Mother Earth. We need those cycles. So just remembering that as well, it's not a constant state when we tap into love and joy. It is a fluctuating state. However, when you are living a life of alignment, you have less massive, shifts in that, fluctuations in that up and down. It would be a bit more like this. And actually, in actual fact, it'll be a bit more like this. You are constantly raising your vibration, and those dips along the way just help you to step up another rung. So, okay, let's see if there's I think I've said enough now, and we can get into the kinesiology part of it. So for those who haven't joined before, I use kinesiology to tap into the collective energy and basically ask what we as a collective can do to help us lift our vibration right now. And I use the tool of kinesiology, which is, a form of muscle testing to find a frequency match. And so we're looking for, what do we need to release and what do we need to focus on in order to, get that frequency match. So, okay. So to begin with, we are looking at so there's an attitude to pain that's come up here. And interestingly, so the attitude to pain is around identification. So I've just been talking about that when we over-identify with things. So the over-identification is, without my pain, I have no purpose. So feel into that for a moment. Without my pain, I have no purpose. How does that play out in your life? How have you been using your pain? And my sense is this is probably just in the last sort of 4 years. Since, we had a particular world event that perhaps, started shifting the frequency of the world, I feel like that has brought a lot to the surface. And potentially, Anyway, that's a whole other video as well. So basically, without my pain, I have no purpose. So feel into where you might not have even been aware of this beforehand, or where you have been, and just recognize how you might be using your pain as a way of identifying with a purpose. And so I'm just going to find what we can do to help balance that while you feel into that. All right. Okay, so there's a acupoint that's come up, and I'll use the magic of technology. So right here, you will see the acupoint I'm talking about, which is spleen 1. Ta-da! And basically spleen 1 is on the inner edge of the big toenail, so the one closest to the other foot, and it is the beginning of the spleen meridian. And the belief behind this is I am afraid to choose. So how is that as a statement, as a belief, being afraid to choose, related to your pain and your purpose? So, it might be that you can see how, if we tap back into the conditioning and our way of avoiding conflict or pain and trying to gain love, we may be afraid to choose for ourselves because it might disappoint someone, or because we might upset someone. So, if we really be really honest with ourselves and, ask yourself, where are you afraid to choose? What choice are you afraid to make right now? Because this is relevant right now. And I feel it's also relevant in what we're moving into in the coming years. So next year, is right around the corner. So if you were to really choose for you what you want to choose, in alignment with your values, in alignment with your higher self, and be authentic and true to that, what would you choose? Feel into that for just a moment. What would you choose beyond expectations, beyond the fear of what happens, beyond the fear of change? It could even be, that it would take a big upheaval to choose what you really want to choose. So I'm going to invite you to hold this acupoint. If you can manage, if you're sitting on the floor, or if you can sit on the floor, even if you're on a chair, but maybe cross-legged is a really nice one to hold these points. You can just hold a thumb on either side of your big toe. And I invite you to hold this point for a moment. And we're just doing a light touch with this one, I feel. It's more of an energetic sort of frequency. We're looking to shift the energy, bring the energy, revitalize the energy into the spleen meridian. And I want to remind you, for those who may have watched previous videos, we've been talking a lot about the earth element, which is what the spleen is a part of, which is really about putting your needs first. It's about balance, giving and receiving, and topping your cup up, your chalice, so that it overflows to everybody else, rather than being left to run dry. So by choosing your values for your authentic self, then this is you actually topping your cup up, which allows you to be there for everyone around you. Okay, so we're just going to do a statement also while you're holding that point. So if you could just repeat after me, and I really invite you to not just say the words, to actually feel this statement in every single cell of your body. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively love myself, accept myself, and celebrate my own beauty. So we're going to do that again. So holding those points, feeling in every cell of your body. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively love myself, accept myself, and celebrate my own beauty. So just allow yourself to really feel that love and acceptance for yourself. Because ultimately, when you love and accept yourself, this is the thing that's going to support you to know that you deserve to choose for you, that you deserve to choose what brings you joy, what brings you love, that you deserve to receive love and pleasure and joy. You know, sometimes when we feel shame, or we feel, you know, it could be when we were 7 years old, you know, we upset our mum or our dad once, and we hold deep, you know, shame around that, or just pain from seeing them hurt because of how we treated them. And it's like, then we can sometimes create a new belief, a new way of behaving that is always about pleasing others, you know, and so we actually put our needs to the side. So really, if you truly just allow yourself, if you notice that there is an experience that's coming up from you, just hold it for a moment, just accept that too. You know, acceptance is really the key, even acceptance in every action, behavior that you've ever done that allows you to love yourself and to celebrate your own beauty. So I just feel on the end of that, just for one moment, really bring to light one thing that you love about yourself. And if you won't put it in those words, then one thing that you know is beautiful about you. You know, really honor that. Consider one thing. I mean, if you've got more, go for it. But we'll just start with one, just one thing that is beautiful about you, that you know that you have to offer the world. You know, and when you're living in alignment and you're being authentic, that's the space that you can come from to connect with others, you know. And that is that part of you that's really magnetic. But it's true, as you've probably experienced from outside of yourself, that when someone is trying to force or striving for attention or love, it's actually quite repelling. So, you know, just keep coming from that place. If you can, when we finish this video, you know, in the week ahead, in the coming weeks, as you come into the new year, you know, maybe actually start making a list and recognizing all the beautiful things about you. And focus on those rather than that one thing that you did back when you were 7 years old. You know, it's amazing how we magnify something like that and it becomes our driving force, you know. Tapping back into your higher self, to your divine spark of life that you are, and recognizing the beauty in all of that, you know, and those beautiful qualities that you bring to the world. So I feel I'm checked in with the energy, but I feel also to bring in a meditation, and we're going to do a focus on the galactic heart. So let's just close our eyes for a moment. Not if you're driving, just saying, safety warning. So closing your eyes and just coming into connection with the points of contact on the earth beneath you. So allowing yourself to really connect in and really acknowledging that there will be others doing this meditation as well. So we want to connect into that collective energy here as well. So knowing that you are not alone, that there is at least a couple of other people doing this meditation. So just really allowing yourself to connect to the earth, connect into this collective energy, and bring your awareness to your heart. So taking a few long, slow, steady breaths, and really, you might even like to place your hands over your heart, one on top of the other, or in a prayer, whichever feels right for you. And just feeling into your heart space for just a moment. And just noticing a little light, a beautiful glowing light, you know, that spark of divine essence that exists within you at your heart space there. So just feeling, seeing, connecting to this spark of existence that's within you. And just for a moment, just see yourself completely surrounded by others who also have that spark of existence within them. Because we are connecting to the collective energy. So seeing also that spark of existence in everyone around you. Just allowing that spark of existence in you to grow a little bigger now, to surround your entire chest cavity. So just feeling that light grow in vibrancy and frequency. And then allow yourself to really take up spiritual space. So allow this divine light of you to really shine outwards in all directions. Really shining through every cell of your body, but beyond your physical body, out into the entire universe. And in that shining out to the universe, connect into the galactic heart, whatever that means to you. That heart of our great mother, that heart of our divine existence in this universe, the galactic heart. And feel your spark of existence merge with the galactic heart frequency. Just for a moment, like, feel that nourishing life force that comes from the divine. How does that feel? And allow your body, mind, and soul to be nourished by this divine light for a few moments. Feel that frequency connection of you shining your light out, but also the galactic heart shining their light into you. Just allow yourself to really feel this frequency of your divine self being nourished by the divine. And from this place, take a moment to feel into your top 3 values. So your top 3 values, what are they when you're connected to this divine spark of life? And then let's just take a moment to feel into the year ahead, next year, 2025. And just see yourself living those top 3 values. How would your life be different if you were actually allowed, and that's not externally, that's internally, if you allowed yourself to live according to those top 3 values, to live authentically, with intentionality and self-awareness. If you were truly able to do that, just take a moment to see what your life could be like. And once again, sensing your connection to the galactic heart, and knowing that with this connection you have, you are putting this into the ethers as a form of manifestation. So just allowing that vision, that goal, your values, your authenticity, which is where it comes down to your choice from here on forth. And this is sometimes why manifestation doesn't work. But you have the opportunity to choose now to live that level of alignment. And you have seen and tasted what life could be like. So the rest now is up to you. We have planted that seed in the divine. And you can spend more time doing this on your own. Actually, I'll drop, we're almost at the summer solstice, which for us in the southern hemisphere, it is the time when we are shining our divine light at its brightest, just like the light all around us is. We've got the longest day of the year, so the sun is at its peak, just like we're kind of at our peak if we allow it. So I'll drop the summer solstice meditation that I put up last year. I'll drop that at the end of this video if you want to explore that a little bit more deeply. And let's just see if there's anything else that we need today to help balance the divine. No. So yeah, really I invite you to start choosing alignment, choosing what brings you joy, what brings you love, like truly from this inner place, not from this external you know, it's fleeting when we do it externally, when we try and grasp or, you know, seek, strive, force external validation or love. We know we come up against resistance, but to truly live in alignment with your values, your authenticity, with deep awareness and being, that takes really, you know, important self-responsibility to be honest with yourself and others to that degree. So that is the invitation. And I'd really, really love to hear if there's anything that's arisen for you today that you want to share. You know, either where you've been living out of alignment that you've noticed, where you can live in more alignment. And, you know, I'd love to hear about your top 3 values. I mean, I really, sometimes I just shout it to the void on this. So I'd really love to get your comments. If you feel to share, it'd be really lovely to hear from you. And, you know, if you happen to want to explore, like really tapping into what your unique strengths and gifts are, and, you know, how you were born to impact the world, remember there's always human design. And whether that be through me, you know, providing you with a reading, or whether it be through your own exploration or other people, you know, really human design is such a valuable resource to know, like based on your date and time of birth, how you were born to impact the world, and to really start living in alignment with that. And I will be putting more videos out about human design next year, I feel. But for now, I'm just in the midst of my own massive transition. And this will actually be the last time you will see this background, because I am about to move house, which means by the next energy balance, I will actually be in a different location. So I don't know what my background will be. So I wish you all the best in whatever you're transiting through at the moment, and whatever you have been through this year. And I really hope that you can draw some strength and wisdom from the challenges, because I know it has been a massive year for everyone. So I really send you so much love on like the journey of this, and just really hoping that you can gain the wisdom, and may it bring you to a place of greater alignment in your heart and soul, and ultimately living, you know, in greater alignment with the people, the places, the work, you know, everything in your life from here on forth. So sending you so many blessings, and, you know, all the best wishes for this festive season, however you celebrate.